What's happening, y'all? Once again, my name is Belil Black. This is episode 3 of Brutal Honesty. And of course, I thought long and hard about, what I wanted to do this episode on. Still having a hard time getting my voice back, but I said, fuck it. I recently got in touch with, some of my boys that I ain't seen in a while, some of my homeboys, more like brothers really, and that kind of influenced what I wanted to do this episode about. I'm gonna do this episode about something that helped me meet a lot of my homeboys, man. And it just so happens that, and it's kind of ironic actually, that I'm pretty high. I smoked a little bit of weed earlier, and I still got a good buzz going. And that is what this episode of Brutal Honesty is about. Marijuana. God, I love marijuana. I don't get to smoke it all the time like I used to. But when I do, I fucking enjoy it, man. Anybody who knows me knows I've got a little bit of a problem with the old schizophrenia. Yeah. I'm not ashamed of it, man. I've come to terms with it. And the bud helps me center myself, man. It helps my mind stay in one place. From the last 2 videos, I'm sure you've noticed I get off topic quite a bit. That's because my brain is going in 1,000 different directions at once, man. But when I smoke a little bit, it really helps me to center myself and, actually, talk about what it is that I want to talk about. I want to dedicate this video first off to some of my friends. I won't call them by their God-given names, but I will, however, say this: Mad Mangler, Razorblade, Mark Wanders, good old Schizo, Jack the Clown, my boys. Keep on keeping on, man. Life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And pour that lemonade out and fill your glass up with some fucking whiskey. There you go. I figured, since this episode is about marijuana, I will take one last drag off of my cigarette and trade it in for this little honey right here, man. Shit. Anyway, like I said, I've met a lot of my friends through smoking marijuana. I've been smoking for a very, very long time. I used to smoke much, much more than I do now, and I'm gonna be open and honest about it. I'm not really gonna mention any of my friends' names, but my homeboy Mad Mangler, I've known that motherfucker since we were little, since he was born, really, man. Our families have always been close, and we really got close after we started smoking ganja together years and years ago. I personally have been smoking since I was 9 years old, man. It's the first time I ever picked up fucking weed pop. And I don't give a shit who knows it, man. I mean, at this point in my life, I really don't give a fuck. I don't, you know, I mean, if people smoke it, I mean, don't do none of the harder shit, kids. Any kids watching this shit, don't, you know, I'm not saying smoke marijuana, don't, at least not until you're an adult, and then do it legally, you know, if you have to. But there's not much wrong with anybody who smokes a little marijuana every now and then, man. I mean, what fucking harm does it do? I don't recall reading about any deaths, you know, or anything like that because of marijuana. I don't care what some of these fucking campaigns tell you. The whole fucking world would be at peace, man, if everybody picked up one of these babies right here every once in a while. But if you do it responsibly, man. Don't drive, you know. Don't fucking, you know, operate machinery. Don't do something stupid. I mean, don't smoke if you've got to have all your, you know, faculties going, you know. And you know, I mean, it's not for everybody, I don't guess, but I think everybody would be more peaceful. I find myself more peaceful, more creative. I think, you know, a little clearer logically, you know, more logically. More logically, that's not even fucking work. You know, that's, you can tell I'm from fucking South, man. I love that shit. Down here, words mean what you want them to mean. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to the topic at hand. You know, my homeboy Razorblade, I didn't meet him, you know, or we didn't start hanging out smoking. We started hanging out when, you know, when we were drinking. We started drinking a couple 30 packs one night, man, and and we've been kicking it ever since. A lot of these dudes, you know, I was in, you know, the whole backyard wrestling thing, man. It was some wonderful times, dude. I learned not to smoke before a match, man. Forgetting the moves. Having to stop in the middle of matches, pissing people off because I had to go hit a blunt. I bet that pissed some motherfuckers off. Anyway, you know, I believe the world would be a better place if more people smoked the ganja, you know. I mean, Bob Marley, that motherfucker was spot on, and to be honest, a lot of Christians might get pissy for me saying this. I think Jesus smoked weed, you know, because he was one of the coolest motherfuckers you ever gonna meet. Look, I mean, I'm not a Christian, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Christian, I'm a pagan, you know. I'm not gonna tell you about my beliefs because I don't believe that that's anybody's business but my own. But you know, I mean, if somebody asks me, I'll tell them, but I'm not gonna go spouting out and trying to convert anybody and that kind of shit. But you know, but I believe Jesus Christ was a, you know, a good dude. He was a great guy, man. You know, he was honest, merciful, loved everybody. I mean, this dude's the one that said, love thy enemy, you know. Love thy neighbor, love thy enemy. And, I mean, hell, the dude was such a nice guy, such a good guy that he gave his life to, you know, if you believe what the Christians believe, that he gave his life, you know, to absolve the rest of the world of their sins. And personally, I don't think that the people of the world deserve it, most of them anyway, but he did because he's a good guy. And I say a lot of shit that he taught, just, you know, a lot of people should think about. They should really think about. And there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of pot smokers say the same shit, man. You know, love thy neighbor, light up a doobie, man. Pass that motherfucker back and forth. Make a lot more friends, man, if you just quit being so fucking uptight, light one up and fucking get in a circle. You know? I mean, hell, the medicinal qualities of marijuana alone are astounding, man. You know, not just The fact that it gives cancer patients an appetite, helps them deal with the pain and the nausea. The oils do a lot of wonderful shit too, just the oils from the plant. You know, hell, you can make just about anything out of hemp. You know, hell, George Washington, man, smoked marijuana. You know, you'd be surprised how many people have smoked weed. You know, I mean, I'll sit here and talk with the motherfucker go out. You'd be surprised how many motherfuckers smoke marijuana, dude. You know, but I mean, I don't personally understand why it's still illegal, unless it's just the fact that they feel that they can't tax you on it. And if that's the case, you know, place the same laws on it that you would place on cigarettes or alcohol. You know, make it against the law to drive, to drive while under the influence of marijuana, just like you do alcohol. Hell, alcohol causes fucking millions of deaths a year, man. You know, like hundreds of thousands to who fucking. I mean, I'm not good with statistics, but I've said that before. I'm not, but it kills a shitload of people every year. Cigarettes are one of the leading killers of people in the world. You ever heard of somebody, dying because of marijuana use? You ever hear somebody dying from overdosing on marijuana? No, man. Never heard that shit. It's because it never happens, man. And what about what Nancy Grace was saying, man? She said something, if I recall correctly. You know, I don't want. Hold on, let me do this right. I don't want my babysitter high on marijuana while she's watching my kids. What happens if my babysitter gets high while watching my kids? Well, fuck no, we don't want babysitters getting high while they're watching kids. Do you want your babysitter getting shit-faced drunk watching your kids? No. Then, what's the difference, man? Don't get high when you're finna go somewhere. Don't get high and drive. Don't get high and watch kids. Don't get high and go to your job. But, I mean, for some, every once in a while, man, if you've got a minute to yourself, a little bit to yourself, and you really need to release some stress, just sit back and smoke a stick of fuck it, and let it all go for at least a couple, at least an hour or two, man. Let that shit go. It's not going to hurt anybody. And feds, cops, quit fucking busting people for smoking a little bit of marijuana. Now, I can understand if they're shipping fucking, hundreds of pounds of the shit. Yeah, I can understand that, man. But, leave the weed smokers alone. What the fuck are they doing? They're not hurting nobody. I can understand if they smoked a, Primo laced with some motherfucking blow or something and go shoot up a fucking, nunnery or something. That would be really fucked up. Then, man, by all means, fill them motherfuckers full of holes. They deserve it. But somebody's just sitting and smoking a little bit. Man, I mean, what's the fucking problem? What's the problem, man? Not hurting nobody. And most of the people that smoke are hard-working people, man, who just want... It's just like with the people who smoke cigarettes, man. Most of them just need to relax. They work all day. They come home to some bullshit, and they just want to fucking relax. Leave them alone. They're not hurting anybody. But I digress. Marijuana, I believe, is a gift from the gods, man. I really do. It can make friends of enemies. It can, at least for a time, it can calm cancer, the killer of men and women. It can bring people together, man. If the government would just let it happen, man. If people would quit being so fucking uptight. It's not that big a deal. Chill the fuck out. A lot of my best times were when I was You know, when I smoked one and was kicking it with my boys, you know, when I'd smoke one and be, kicking it with some girls, smoking with some of my family members, just kicking back and reminiscing about when we were wicked little shits running around. Those were some good times, man. And, what links all those together is a magical little herb that hurts no one. I mean, what more can you say? People are gonna hate on it, but fuck them. The power is in the hands of the people, not in the hands of the government. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that I completely hate the government. No, man, a lot of the government's necessary, but they need to cool it, man. They need to calm the fuck down. They can't try to, shake their fucking finger at you like some kind of, behind the scenes parental figure saying, no, 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 you're going to get in trouble if you do that over everything. They don't have that kind of power. Only the people do. And, the people just want to smoke a little bit of weed. It helps me maintain. It makes me feel normal. I don't smoke to get fucked up. I smoke to feel normal just for a little while because my life fucking blows. But that's for another video. Well, I guess I'll leave you with this. Is smoking really such a big deal if it brings people close together, brings us closer to peace and tranquility? Think about that. I'm Belil Black. Take it easy.